Dear students, this is the second video of the series. So first video we already uploaded. So just go through it. If you like the content, please like, share and subscribe the channel. If you have any comment, do post it. Okay. So before further ado, let's get started. Okay. So the first question is importance of consumer education. So the consumer education is a need of the hour. Here nowadays we are a completely consumer based society. Okay, so the needs of the new generation are changing, the environmental organizational environment is getting changed, the economy changing happening, industrial scenarios are changing. So along with that, aggressive marketing strategies are adopting by these organizations, and the misleading advertisements, we are flooded with misleading advertisements and fad ads are there. So to make our next generation more aware about the consumer market and to make them able to be a responsible consumer, the consumer education is a must and it's a need of the hour, right? So while through giving a consumer education, we can educate our next generation and make them a responsible citizens. So through consumer education means we can provide we can impart these skills in colleges and schools through training programs, role plays and group works, referral, research skills are some of the ways through which these consumer education can be imparted at school and college level. Then NGOs and consumer organization in India. NGOs means non-governmental organization. They are working for the welfare of the society. They are not based for profit making. Okay, so they have focus much on the welfare of the society or the country where they are living. So they are fully or partially financed by the government or any other agencies. The multinational companies and the big business giants used to promote these type of NGOs. Then Bills and Melinda Gates, they have the some NGOs are there. They are giving financial contribution to many NGOs that are based in India too. So the NGOs that are not only meant for the consumer sector, consumer protection, the NGOs, they are acting at different sectors of the society. That means particularly for the upbringing of the deprived class of our society. Then the for addressing the unemployment issues, for addressing the poverty issues, gender issues, racial issues. So these for focusing on many social issues, NGOs are working, NGOs are performing in India, right? So role of NGOs in consumers issue, that is they organize consumer related consumer awareness program. Then they organize training program and make them aware about their rights and duties and how to be a responsible consumer. And they used to give them suggestions if the consumer rights are denying, how they can seek the remedy. All these informations are passing through the consumers by the NGO. So their main aim is to focus on the welfare of the consumer society and to make the consumers more responsible, right? Next important thing is consumer movement. Consumer movement is a protest movement that is against the it's a general body of consumers. They are fighting for their rights, right? So the consumer movement of India, we can divide them into three stages. First stage is in the 1960s. So during 1960s there was an organization, that is Consumer Guidance Society of India. It focused mainly on the on providing education to the consumers regarding the quality of goods, and also they will conduct symbol tests to make sure that the daily consumption goods are worth quality, right? Then during the second phases, it is in 1970s to 1980, there was a large shortage in the supply of essential goods, and the public distribution system, that is a PDS system, was collapsed, and emergencies happened during that time, and lots of chaos was there. So during that time, lots of consumer movements arose in India, right? Then the third phase is, that is from 1981 to 1990, that is just before the LPG, that is globalization. That is during early 90s, the LPG, that is liberalization, privatization and globalization policies adopted in India. So before that, the third phase, and the last phase is, that is the after the LPG, lots of consumer movements was there in India as of now it is one of the country that contains large number of consumer organization well compared to the rest of the world, right? Next is, what are the challenges or the limitation of Consumer Protection Act of 1986? So that is, first is it incorporates laws regarding the supply of harmful goods, but it does not impose the strict liability on those who supply such goods. Then second one is, does not give any definition of safety requirement and permitted hazard level. Next, another one is that the consumer can seek redressal only if he has suffered a loss or damage. If nothing happened, he has no right to seek redressal. Then another limitation is that it does not impose liability on chief executive, manager or director. Then another one is that the time frame, that is within it has a specify a time frame. Within that time frame, the disputes has to be disposed of. So that period is 90 days. It's not enough. Then act is silent on the quality, on the question of storage of commodities. Another one is that the redressal agencies do not have requisite infrastructure. Okay, that is another big issue. Another issue is that the major problem arising practically that the execution of the orders passed by these tribunals. Okay, so the consumer courts orders are not getting executed. Okay, so these are some of the limitations or challenges of the Consumer Protection Act of. Now, who can file a complaint under Consumer Protection Act of 1986? If you are a consumer, if you are a recognized voluntary consumer organization, they are working for the welfare of the consumer society. Then if you are a central or a state government, or if you are a consumer, you have consumer where there are numerous consumers having the same interest, legal heir or representative in the case of death of a consumer. So these people can file a complaint against the company that are doing unfair trade practices. Then what are the reliefs? That is removal of the goods from the service, then replacement of defective goods, refund, then award of compensation, withdrawal of hazardous or dangerous goods from being offered, then provision of adequate cost. So these are some of. Next one, the remedies available to the consumer due to medical, bank or railway negligence. If you are a consumer and some medical negligence happened to you, then the doctors or the person, medical person who is responsible for that, have to compensate the consumer. Then banker, if you are a banker, if it's a bank and they are liable if they are negligible in dealing with the consumer, and harsh and unfair and unconscious loan terms are prohibited by the Loan Act. Then wrongful opinion of credit worthiness, these all are the failures from the bank side and they are liable for the same. Then railways, another one is railway undertaking to carry passengers or goods of all persons, and it's once you submitted your goods there or once you pledge your goods there, it's a duty of the railway to take care of that. Okay, if something or injury to the passenger or the goods happened, the liability of the railway was there, so they have to compensate the same, right? Next one, there are some other redressal forums are there. One is Lok Adalat, then public interest litigation or PIL, then consumer organization. Lok Adalat means it's an effective and economical system for the quick redressal. That is, on the spot your grievances are getting settled down. So that is known as Lok Adalat. That is particularly used by the railway, then telephone department or the electricity department to settle the users' grievances on the spot. Okay, so the consumer can take advantage of the system. They can directly go to the Adalat and then file their complaint, and then their issues are getting discussed there, and there they will get a solution on the spot itself. Then public interest litigation, PIL, it is a scheme under which any person can move to the court of law as a part of the interest of the society. Okay, it doesn't need that you are the person who suffered. Okay, but for the societal benefit, you can file a suit against the company or organization that has conducting unfair trade practices, or they have conducted something against the consumer consciousness. So these all are coming under public interest litigation. Okay, then consumer organization, we already discussed about under NGOs. Consumer organizations are those organizations, they are focusing on the welfare of the consumers. They are trying to make the consumer aware about their rights and duties and how to be a responsible consumer. So these type of consumer organizations are more in our country. So examples are Consumer Education Hyderabad, Karnataka Consumer Service Society Bangalore. So these organizations aim is to, they used to collect data regarding the products or services, and if there is any demerits of the product, or if some side effect of the product or the quality of the product, if something curious things happen, they used to investigate it, and if something suspicious things they found, they will file a suit against it, and they will go ahead with these legal aspects. Okay, so these are some of the features of consumer organization. Okay, in short, we can say that these all redressal measures are focusing on the welfare of the consumers, right? Now some other legal measures are there, that is, there are certain other laws that are enacted in India so as to safeguard the interest of the consumers and protect them from the unethical practices. So that laws include Drug Control Act of 1950, Agricultural Product Act of 1937, Industrial Regulation Act of 1951, Prevention of Food Adulteration Act of 1954, Essential Commodities Act of 1955, Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practices Act of 1969, Bureau of Indian Standards Act of 1986. So you have to learn these acts. So these are the other legislation measures besides the Consumer Act of 1986, right? So that's the end of this video. So we covered almost all the important questions of this paper. Okay, so I hope these videos will be helpful for the final preparation. Okay, so go through it. If you like the content, please like, share and subscribe the channel. Okay, and if you have any comment, do post it. Okay, your encouragement and your support is a big thing for us. Okay, it will motivate us to make more videos. Okay, so study hard, focus more on studies, and pray well, eat healthy and stay calm. Okay, victory will be yours solely. So take care. Thank you.